If you've already saved up 50 to 100 gold, if you've already collected 20 completed quests in your quest log ready to turn in, if you've already collected all the important flight paths, if you've collected all of the materials that you need to level your crafting profession from 150 to 225 or whatever, then here are some of the items that I would absolutely recommend you chase. These are the ones that I'm going to be looking to do as I gear up for Gnomeregan. What is up, Druids of Azeroth? My name is Remy the Doggo Druid. We now know that February 8th is when Phase 2 begins, and of course, the main thing that we're all going to be looking at is how to make the most gold. No, I'm kidding. We're going to be looking at the new runes, what new skills that we're getting that we're not expecting, and ultimately gearing up for the new Gnomeregan raid, getting as prepped for it as quickly as possible so that you can get in, start parsing real high, and clearing it super quick. Now, before we get into this too deep, if I'm missing anything or I'm mistaken in any of my choices here, please let me know in the comment section down below. I'm not the expert of the game. I'm just an enthusiast of the game, but I will try to include a link to this whole list, all 4 lists, in the description box down below as well. There are only a couple of variations between Horde and Alliance and Best in Slot and a pre-Best in Slot and BOE Best in Slot, but wanted to start with the Alliance because I'm an Alliance. Wolf's Head Helm is technically not a DPS helm as far as stats are concerned, but the on-equip effect, gaining bonus energy when you power shift or swap to bear to pick up an add or off tank when your main tank goes down. The utility cannot be denied. Alternatively, the Twilight Slayer's cowl is still pretty highly ranked. The Artemis cowl and the Lordric helmet are pretty high up there as well. But if you have the Twilight Slayer set, you're probably actually going to be fine just running that going into the raid, despite everything else. But as you start to break it up, as you get new items, Wolf's Head Helm is a BOE item. You can see it is a craftable item at max leatherworking, so I know I personally have been collecting raw materials to level up my leatherworking as quickly as possible. I believe the cap is going to be 225, but I'm not 100% sure on that. But the Wolf's Head Helm being right at level 40, probably your best bet, and the first thing that every feral druid should chase. Now, the raid neck in BFD is pretty good. It's pretty highly rated. The only thing that you might consider would be the PvP necklace, but the High Tide Choker technically does have more attack power. The Failed Flying Experiment is a really easy to get quest that you can complete. The level 30 Sergeant's Cloak is probably the easiest to get and best cloak that you can have if you are willing to spend a little bit of money or level up engineering. The Parachute Cloak is slightly worse than the Sergeant's Cloak, but it does have some utility if you find it that way. But these other BOEs we'll talk about in the next set. Blazewind Breastplate is an Alliance only quest, just a ton of stats. The 4 Stalker Bracers are going to be the reward for Exalted with the Silverwing Sentinels, or whatever the Horde equivalent is. We'll talk about Horde in just a second though. An opportunity for you all right now is to get to at least Revered by participating in the Ashenvale event and then grinding as close as you can to Exotic with Warsong Gulch pre-mades or just soloing or what have you. Now the weapon is a little controversial. The automatic crowd pummeler, the new automatic crowd pummeler, is going to be available in Gnomeregan, and this is actually a level 60 in-game item, but the Fist of the Wild technically does have higher stats and attack power in your various feral forms. So what I think will end up happening is macroing this in for its on use, 3-minute cooldown, and then swapping the Fist of the Wild whenever that cooldown is not available. Both of these will be sought after. Of course, you can get Fist of the Wild now off of the Logan Jet BFD boss. Pratt's Handcrafted Gloves is an Alliance only quest, but I believe that there is a Horde version as well. The Barbaric Belt is a craftable item from leatherworking. The bonus Rage is nice, but really the 11 strength is just straight attack power. There aren't any other easier to acquire belts, so this leatherworking item is going to be the go-to for a long time. Griffin Rider's Leggings is a quest in the Hinterlands. I believe it is an Alliance only quest, yeah, but I think that there's a Horde equivalent as well. Griffin Rider's Leggings is really nice, just a ton of strength and agility. Excelsior Boots are a quest item in Stranglethorn Vale. Not sure if that quest is going to be there. Protector's Band, this is the level 40 version, this is the level 38 version of the PvP ring, and then the Iron Spine's Eye, which is going to be a drop in the Scarlet Monastery Graveyard if it is available. Assumption is that it will be. The Avengers of Void Pearl that you get off of Akamai and BFD is going to be the best in slot trinket. If you are an engineer, you want to use the Mithril Mechanical Dragon Ring if it is available. If it's not, just really any other trinket will work. And then finally, the Mind Expanding Mushroom is the only idol that we have available. Spirit, you know, it is what it is. Now, the best in slot, including BOE items, is a lot of the same stuff. This is actually should be High Tide Choker. So the Dark Hooded Cape is the first one. This is a very rare spawn in Arathi Highlands. This is going to be best in slot for a lot of classes. I'm talking like warriors and rep paladins and of course rogues and hunters. This is going to be a very expensive thing to purchase, but if you can snag Nymar the Slayer out of the Arathi Highlands, and if you get lucky, then you're going to be real happy with this cloak. The other BOE greens, you know, they're pretty good if you know, you want to spend a little bit of money and the Sergeant's Cloak isn't good enough for you, or if you were just looking for something that's better than the Sergeant's Cloak, or if you don't want to grind the PvP, then buying the Hawkeye's Cloak is going to be a nice option. That's slightly more attack power than the Sergeant's Cloak, but just bite a little bit. The Quillward Harness is a BOE drop from RFD. I'm actually not sure if Razorfin Downs is going to be available. I think that it is, but I'm not 100% certain. This is going to be another one of those items that is going to be highly sought after by hunters and rogues, as well as potentially ret paladins and arms, you know, DPS warriors. But this is definitely going to be the pre-best in slot if, you know, money was no option and you had good luck, or both. The Ogryn's Sash is going to fall into the same category. It's going to be best in slot belt for a lot of people. It's leather, but, you know, all of that strength, all of that stamina, all of that agility. Basically every melee character in the game and hunters are going to want this off the auction house. It's going to go for a lot of gold. The Scorpashi Sash is pretty nice, also a world drop, and some of these others. The Hawkeye's Cord, I think, is the best of the green drops. And finally, the trinkets and the idol and the rings are kind of the same. Now, as far as Horde is concerned, a lot of this is going to be the same. Jangdor's High Crafted Tunic is replacing the Alliance version of the same thing, although not quite as good as the Alliance version. The Jangdor's Handcrafted Gloves replaces the Alliance quest. Just be looking for that. Mark of quality, yeah. Thrag's Shoelace is going to be the best item that you can get for belts, not counting BOEs, Excelsior Boots, Quest, and STV. And I think that there's a Horde version of this idol, although it's not showing up. I could be mistaken there. I thought that there was a Horde version for some reason. I'm sorry, I should mention the Dragonflight Leggings is also the Horde version of the whatever I had here before. So that's worth noting as well. So for the pre-best in slot, if money doesn't matter, the Dark Hooded Cape is one you're going to be chasing. That Quillward Harness, again, you know, leather BOE that a lot of people are going to be chasing. Razorfin Downs drop. Not sure if Razorfin Downs is going to be available. You have the Ogryn's Sash belts, and I do think that's really the best items you can get if you are looking for the best pre-raid stuff and money doesn't matter. Now, all of this may not mean anything because we don't know exactly what's going to happen in Phase 2, and we don't really know what the drops are going to be in any of the dungeons, if any of the other dungeons are going to be slightly tweaked, or if it's just going to be Gnomeregan. We don't know if there's going to be any new crafted items, whether that requires a raid or not. We're just shy of 1 month away from Phase 2. If you've already saved up 50 to 100 gold, if you've already collected 20 completed quests in your quest log ready to turn in, if you've already collected all the important flight paths, if you've collected all of the materials that you need to level your crafting profession from 150 to 225 or whatever, then here are some of the items that I would absolutely recommend you chase. These are the ones that I'm going to be looking to do as I gear up for Gnomeregan. As always, be good or be good at it, and I'll see you all in the next one.